So I was watching Stephanie Perry's video, How to Quit Your Job in 2023, Black Women Embracing Ease, where she outlined some of the things that she would do different if she was taking a sabbatical or leaving her jobs for a career break and to travel abroad in 2023. And that made me think of some of the things that I wish another Black woman had told me before I quit that good job to take my career break. And now look, there's some of you who will watch Stephanie's video. You will take those steps. You will make a plan. You will execute it. The end. But there's others who it really isn't that simple. So if you are thinking about leaving your job and you consider yourself a high achiever, if you let everybody know, yeah, I'm going to be, taking vacation. I'm going to take personal leave, but I'm still available by email, or you can still call me on my cell. Or if you're someone who has a lot of questions, then this video is for you. And speaking of questions, where are my manners? Hey, I'm Pryl, and climbing the corporate ladder, checking off all those boxes for the Black excellence milestones and living my life based on other people's expectations left me completely overwhelmed, emotionally spent, and lost. Like I didn't even know who I was anymore. So about 5 years ago, I set out on the path of self-discovery, and I have not looked back since. So on this channel, I'm going to share with you how I stopped being consumed by work, stopped putting everybody else's wants and needs before my own, and to inspire Black women like you to stop caping for everybody else and start embracing an uncomplicated life full of freedom and joy. Now, before I get into this list, let me tell you something. I have taken not one, not two, but 3 failed sabbaticals. And failed may kind of be a little hard word, but it's the truth because I didn't do it how I was supposed to do it. Okay, that 4th time though, look, that's what you see right now. Okay, the 4th sabbatical, I got it right. But those 3 other times, even though, let me give myself a little grace. Even though I did learn something from each sabbatical that I brought along the way. And I say sabbatical, that's also, when I talk about being a little harsh, and I'm being a little bit too nice. Let me put it to you plainly. I ran off. I was at work one day and I wasn't at work the next. Like, it is that simple. I got in my car, I walked to the parking lot, I got in my car and I dipped. Now, I already had started, packing up little things. Okay, you know how we do. You know how we do. We pack up little things here and there. Because we don't want them to catch wind to it, right? So we pack up a few things from our desk, here and there, because we don't know when we are leaving, but we know we're leaving. And for me, I ran away from work. I really did. So the first one was in 2014. The second one was in 2019. The third one was in 2020. And then in 2021, I finally got it right, okay? So now that I've gotten that out the way, let me tell you the first thing that I really wish another Black woman would have told me before I quit that good job. And that is the fact that I have zero concept of the word rest, that it's not in my vocabulary, that I can't wrap my brain around it, that I can't give you any examples of what rest means to me because I did not know how to sit myself down somewhere and sit still. Look, that 2019 sabbatical I took, I messed around and started 2 businesses and a nonprofit. And they had the nerve to be successful. Go figure. So my 2021, that 4th sabbatical I took was from my business. So again, I did not know what it meant to sit still. Now we can track this back to, idle hands or the devil's workshop. So being busy as a child, being busy, I was a teen mom. So I've always been busy. I've had to be a mother. I had to be a student. I had to be, fill the place of a 2-parent household. And I'll get into that in another video. But the point is, I did not have a concept of resting at all. So that's something that I wish somebody would have pulled my coattail to and tell me, like, girl, you do not understand what resting is. Let me tell you some of these ways, okay? Now, the second thing that I wish somebody would have told me is that I had problems with money. Now, not money problems, because to me, money problems is when you have more month than you have money. Okay, so you just don't have enough money, or, you may have some spending issues, or maybe somebody in your household has some spending issues. So again, another video, another time. But by problems with money, I didn't realize the emotional attachment that I had to getting that regular paycheck and seeing it, seeing the money in my, bank accounts, the investment accounts, and the security and the validation that I received by looking at those things. So again, that sent me down a whole nother trail and a whole nother path. And let me know if anything that I'm saying in this video, if you want me to explore that a little bit further and make another video about it. And as a matter of fact, go ahead and like it while you're at it. All right. And speaking of money, another thing that I wish another Black woman would have told me before I quit that good job was the fact that there are riches in the land. Again, as I mentioned, I just dipped. I straight dipped. I'm serious. I got in my car. Like I said, I walked to the parking lot. I got in my car. I drove out that lot and I never went back. They had to pack up my office and send it to me FedEx UPS. So I wish someone would have told me that some of the things that I was experiencing, microaggressions, which there's absolutely nothing micro about them, retaliation, being in a hostile work environment, being, this is YouTube, so let me not say it, but being harassed by male employees, or even some things that people said that were flat out racially motivated. If someone would have told me that there is a way I can be compensated, what do they say? I get paid for my pain. If I hadn't have run off and knew what I know now, I definitely would have stuck it out. And I maybe wouldn't have had to take all them other sabbaticals because I never would have went back to work. So, all right. And speaking of work, I wish that someone would have told me that the job is not the problem. The job is a problem. Let's be clear. A large problem, but it's not the problem. Because in theory, using that logic, when I ran off from my jobs, so, remove that. I'm no longer going to work. I'm no longer having the demands of, working 7 days a week, people pulling on me, people asking me things. I'm no longer in that environment every day, smiling on those little Zoom calls when I don't want to smile, ignoring every fiber in my body that is screaming, we don't like this. We don't want to be here. And struggling and thinking, keeping all of that on the inside, like that doesn't go away when you leave. And as a matter of fact, it increases exponentially because now you don't have work to keep you busy. I don't have, those 14 hours a day of my day that are going to be bookmarked and blocked off doing work. Now I have my entire day. I, for the first time in my life, have the ability to do what I want to do. And I'm so out of my depth. So again, I wish somebody would have told me, beforehand that there's some things that I need to consider and address and start to just work towards and work on before I left my job. And being at home, having all that free time, catching up with people that I'm normally too busy to talk to and I'm working, left me with something else that I truly, truly wish another Black woman would have told me before I quit that good job. And that is the fact that I was going to encounter other people's strong opinions about what I'm doing with my life. And that it was going to lead me to feel ashamed. Now, on the first sabbatical that I took, I didn't tell anybody. None of my friends, none of my family. Because again, I was always working so much. So they just assumed I was working. They would text me, I would text back. But I never volunteered the fact that I left my job. Because I was on the verge of being emotionally broken. And I'm not saying that like being funny. I mean, I know I'm smiling, but I really was at the point where I did not, again, another video for another time. But, you know, the point is I did not share that with anyone. All right. Now, when I did leave in 2019, I told people, like, yes, you know, now I left out on med leave because, look, like I said, it was bad. It was bad. And it's tough. It's almost like when you break your leg, or, you know, if you've ever broken anything or injured it, it's fractured. Even though it may heal, it's fractured. So the trauma that I experienced that led me to run away from work from that first job, even though, like I said, I had intentions to do things different, I really, really tried my best to do things different, but I ended up in that same spot. And because it was something that had already been fractured, it hurt even more the second time. And I went to a therapist. I started getting, it's almost like a pressure cooker, you know, where things just build up. I needed to release some of that, and I did. But, you know, I did the things that my therapist said to do. Look, them people weren't hearing it. I was trying to have you know, boundaries with them and let them know, because, you know, they say, hey, if this is ever too much, you know, just let me know. I can assign to someone else. When I did throw my hand up and say, hey, this is too much, that's when the retaliation came in. That's when, like I said, I'm going my entire life thinking that if I take any rest, if I take my foot off the gas, that they're going to get me and it's going to be shown as weakness. That's exactly what happened. So I did leave, like I said, and was confident in why I was leaving. But I started, you know, telling people, oh, you're not at work? Or, you know, like, what you doing? And I said, yeah, I'm taking some time off. You know, I'm going to leave my job. You going to leave that good job? Look, if they paid me what they're paying you, I'm working 7 days a week. I'm not complaining. Or you're going to walk away from everything that you've earned? You know, the people in my circle, as well-meaning as they were, I know they love me, I know they care, but they were projecting their fears on me, and I wish somebody would have prepared me for that. Because then I probably wouldn't have told their behinds. I would have kept it to myself, not in a way of you know, fear of shame or condemnation, but I just would have, I would have kept it to myself, because it is my business, okay? So anyway, and you know what? Listen, there's one more thing. I know I said 5. There's something else that I just thought about. That I think if you said, sum this video up, tell me the one thing. So this is a bonus, but it is a fact that I wish another Black woman would have told me that I have no idea who I am. I wish somebody would have told me that leaving work was going to thrust me into the midst of an identity crisis. And you know what, as I say that, I'm going to go ahead and pause there with this, because that is something that definitely needs its own video. And as a matter of fact, I am going to make that video next, because it is something that, yeah, let's talk about it in the next video. All right, so I ask that you will share this with another Black woman who needs to see this, okay? I know that when I was at my job and going up and through it, I felt so alone. I felt seriously like I was the only one who was going through this. And, you know, truth be told, in my world, I was the only one who was going through this. There are plenty of us out here on these YouTube streets spreading the good news, okay, about being free, about being delivered from other people's expectations, doing everything for everybody all the time, and living a life of freedom, joy, and ease. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.